We don't talk about Bruno. No. Okay. Anyways, that's Inside Baseball from before we started recording. Hi, episode 39, 84 feet with Cady and Cap. I'm Brian Cady. Yeah, Brian Capitula. Is that the same Mitchell and Ness hat?
You actually kind of look like Bruno now that I look at it. I didn't even realize before you started singing that, but
it's the half-grown mustache, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, well, that's the show. Goodbye. No kidding. But that is the same Bucks hat you're wearing right now?
Yes, sir.
I mean,
I don't have time. I just got literally walked in the door at 6:40 and didn't help put any Christmas stuff away, and then just got on here.
Oh, that's why you're getting the dirty eye before this podcast. Okay, all right, yep. That makes sense now. Yeah. So it's Monday night, January 6th. Now that we've wasted about 15 minutes before we started recording this because I was making horrible jokes and Cap just kept making fun of me for mustaches. Yeah, this is where we're at. Oh, by the way, I mean, not that I'm going to, not that I'm trying to say anything, but if this looks different, we're like mid-move. So this is the first thing I'm recording from the new apartment, literally across the street from the old one. And, I should probably do this. Giants, they threw away the number 1 pick in 2 weeks.
They should get relegated. They should relegate them to the Arena League or something.
No, they should relegate anyone who fires a head coach after 1 year. They should relegate the Patriots. That's what they should do.
And that was crazy. We won't get into that, but
yeah, this is a basketball show, not a football show. But and the Giants chose to keep. No, never mind. I can't right now. I need to be happy for this show. So yeah. Real quick before we bring in our guest Cap, you're coming off a bag of mixed results from the weekend. Friday Academy. You guys took the L at Shaker. Very close game, very competitive game as expected. Mm-hmm. And then yesterday at Siena College, because it's a high profile game in the Colonial Council. You were the home team against Holy Names. Very tight first half. I think it was. I know it was a 1 possession game. I can't remember if it was 1 point. I think it was a 1 point game.
Yep.
And then second half, well, really third quarter, a young lady named Alex Leonard decided to go on a heater and basically turned a 1 point game into a 16-point game, 18-point game, and that was pretty much all she wrote. So all in all, a split of the weekend. How you feeling after it?
Good. I don't think anyone realizes how big Shaker is. Maybe that you
could long. They're like the
AAA
version of Greenwich.
Kind of like Bruno, like you talk about Bruno, but you talk about how big Shaker is. They're tough to guard. But I mean, we had our opportunities. We're up 3 with basically 6 minutes to go, and we don't score for 4 minutes. So, and the game stayed the same way for 4 minutes. They didn't score. We didn't score. They knocked down a big shot and took the lead, and then we came down and missed another shot, and that's really about shot making. So that was that game, but it was packed. It was a good environment for everybody. I think there was just Capital Region basketball people there and a bunch of teams there to watch, which was awesome. And then yesterday was nice, a nice thing that we set up ourselves at Academy and played kind of the Holy Names and then kind of their brother school and CBA. And a good result for both the teams that played. So it was a good environment. Both games were pretty crowded too, which was great. So
listen, it's one thing to see Catholic Central people in the crowd because now they're only 3 minutes from Siena and, they're in the Colonial Council with you and Holy Names.
Yep.
When you see, players representing Shaker and Chalmont, and then you have other coaches and dignitaries from other programs coming out and not even affiliated with any of the 3 schools that were represented in the doubleheader yesterday. Right. When you see that, you got some good ball and something's right about the way that was all set up yesterday. So, good job by yourself and Coach Driggs on the boys' side, and good job by everyone involved, the Albany Academy Athletic Department, getting that involved. Coach Parada from baseball, Paul Galucci, the athletic director, everybody involved. Real good job by everyone yesterday putting that together. So
yeah, no, it was great.
Aside from a certain playlist that was used at one point, but that's more inside baseball between me and Cap. We won't get into it. We'll just laugh about it and move on. That all being said, we go from discussing the kind fortunes of one private school to another one. Now, I have to admit, as a class of 2005 graduate of Christian Brothers Academy, this is an interview I've been wanting to do really since the start of the podcast back in April, because I have always been intrigued about how this school transitioned from private all boys military JROTC based to co-ed, and I believe, if I'm correct, no longer JROTC focused. I believe they have I think they still have a color guard, maybe a drill team, but that's really it. Kind of like how the direction CBA's gone in a way.
Yeah. Same with us. We have the same kind of thing. We don't have the cadet.
Right. That became that. I think the guard at academy became optional even when I was still in high school. It was good 20 years ago. Only difference being LaSalle co-ed now. CBA still just boys only. I'm not here to discuss the politics of that, so we'll just move on. But speaking of co-ed, speaking of LaSalle, we have a junior girls basketball player for the LaSalle Institute. We got Kate Gilooly. Kate, what up?
What's up?
First thing I gotta ask, because I have not had the privilege or honor of calling a LaSalle girls basketball game yet. Fingers crossed that maybe sectionals that can happen.
Hopefully, yeah.
Because nothing would make me happier, because I don't really hate LaSalle. There were certain people I hated at the time at LaSalle when I was at CBA. I don't hate LaSalle. But it would really warm my heart to see LaSalle uniforms for girls basketball sectional semifinal or final. So I want that to happen. But the question I have to start off, so do they call all the teams the cadets, or have they gone like the Albany Academy route where the girls are called one nickname, the boys are called the cadets?
No, all of the girls and boys teams are cadets. So
everybody's cadets. All right. I've cleared the air on that one for myself because I had no clue.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All in all, how you doing? How's the body? You're 6 weeks or so into the season. How you doing?
Great. Just ready for the second half. So
now your team, you guys are off to a decent start. And this is obviously, Brian, like Brian said, this is really your second really full year of being able to have girls, and to be able to have a competitive team, let alone any kind of team at this point, is kind of remarkable. But obviously the coaches that you have there are kind of are new to the program, but definitely work hard. I always see your head coach everywhere. So everywhere, like wherever she is. But in terms of that dynamic with her, like she basically had to take both teams, had to coach JV and varsity. What has it been like kind of being part of a program that's just building and just starting on the girls' side?
Yeah, it's different. I mean, been on a lot of teams, so I mean, it's just different, like trying to get to know where the girls are at and the coaches. It's just different, and it's fun. So.
Now, were you guys welcome and it's different at Albany Academy because now we're together now too, and merging wise. Were you guys welcome kind of with open arms into the school? Was there like a weird like a weirdness for a little while, or was it just kind of like, hey, the girls are here now and the doors are open for everybody?
Yeah, well, when I went, it was like everyone was welcoming. I'm pretty sure it was the same for all the girls. Like everyone I've talked to felt the same way. So awesome. They're all welcoming there. So.
If it was 20 years ago when I was at CBA and they did that, I'm going to leave everything to the imagination of how the boys were reacted 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But what I think was interesting though in that regard, and we'll approach the background of you getting to LaSalle, but you came in essentially in the middle of the second year of girls being admitted in LaSalle. So, had that year and a half were there any? I know you said like the boys are cool, but was there any, because of all the tradition per se that's behind LaSalle, because they had 170 years,
Yeah.
I believe it was, of being an all boys school up to that point before they went co-ed and joined, 2/3 of the other LaSallian schools in America that are co-ed. Was there anything you heard when you were making your decision, like from parents or friends of friends that are kind of like unsure about making that kind of move? Was there any reservations from people you were talking to?
People were like, do you know like any girls there? Like, do you like know they like it? Like all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, like I know people. They all say they love it. Like everyone's welcoming. So I heard great things from it. So
you guys had a really big boom, which is why you guys got stuck in Class B. Like you had a bunch of
a lot
kind of all flooded in like the same time. Like they were like, this is great for enrollment. Like, and kind of were unsure, hey, where are we going to get slotted for sectionals? And like, well, you have a varsity team, you're a Class B school. Like that's a tough,
that's
a total task to ask right away, like creating a program. But in terms of like you and Brian kind of mentioned it quick, but your background a little bit in terms of how you started playing basketball and kind of what helped you fall in love with it. Is there any certain team that you remember being on as a kid that kind of, or any person that may have like kind of driven your love for basketball?
Yeah. So my father coached for, that was like all he did. So he really drove me to be like person I like, just love it, like just have a passion for it. He was the main reason. So.
And the interesting thing is, you are a multi-sport athlete.
Yeah.
Because you were in the fall, you were not just playing soccer, you were a goalkeeper on the soccer. Two-part question: why goalkeeper? And as far as the rank and file between basketball and soccer, like how big of a gap are we talking, or is soccer like a pretty close second love for you?
Well, so funny story. I played in like in 8th grade just for like something to do. And then I played in 9th at Troy High. And then last year I didn't play because it wasn't really my thing. Like I just did it to do it, to hang out with people. And then this year I knew the coach really well. Like I love her. So I was just like, why not? Like worst thing is I just sit the bench and I just go to practice every day. But then I was tall and I had a pretty decent wingspan, so they just put me in goal and told me to block the ball. So I just stood there. So
it's got to be scary. I don't want to get in front of that. Those balls are hard too. As it gets into October and it's not that warm out anymore.
No, yeah, I would have like hand warmers in my gloves sometimes. They would break, but it would be worth it at that point.
Not the greatest.
No.
Now, like in terms of even soccer and basketball, is it in terms of like getting you ready for competition and ready for games? Is there anything that you'll get psyched up about? Like, do you have a routine that you'll do like a game day?
Yeah. So, I mean, it helps when I'm in school because I get like up and moving. Like if I don't have school, it kind of throws me off. But
sure.
But usually go to school, have a good lunch, and then I'll usually shoot like 2 or 3 hours before, and then I'll listen to music, watch the JV game, and then just go from there.
So I want to talk about your AAU time as well, but I also want to jump in quick though with the story leading to you into LaSalle, because you're originally in the Troy school district, going to Troy, had a shuffling of coaches. It was a very much a program in transition, a lot of changes happening. And then eventually you end up leaving basically midway through your freshman year academically, right after basketball season ended in February of 2023. So literally just about 2 years ago exactly. Can you describe a little bit of what your frustrations were at the time that helped breed this decision for you to go to LaSalle, and how much your family was in support of this decision you were making?
Yeah. So I went to a smaller middle school and elementary school. It was just like a part of me. It always helped me academically. So going from a 500 kid K through 8 school to 1,000 kid, like 4 year, like it was just like a big jump, and I don't think I was ready for it, like as a 9th grader. So my grades weren't great, but like that's just came along with different school. So I thought about it for a while, but I never like brought it up to my mom. So, and then one day she brought it up. She was like, "What if you transferred to LaSalle?" And I was like, "No, like I wouldn't like it there." But when she said it, I just thought about it, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. And then after basketball season ended, I was like, "Yeah, like I think I want to try something new." And I was like, "Why not?" So, just went from there.
No, LaSalle, a lot of people like, and I know how it feels, but a lot of people like when they make the jump from a public to a private, it's always, well, they're going there for athletics, which is beyond the reason of anybody.
Yeah.
Usually it's academics first, and then athletics is great. They have athletic teams, but
Mm-hmm.
how do you feel like athletics, even or academics at LaSalle, how do you think that makes you a better student or worker?
I think just like having less kids in a classroom helps me personally, just as a like regular person and as a student. Like I get to have conversations with kids just like I know just from being in class with them. Like I become closer with everyone because it's just smaller. So I think it helps me a lot.
Yeah.
No, what's really cool right now is that with the birth of the girls athletics programs over the last 3 to 4 years and their growth, there's also been a little bit of a renaissance of sorts in the LaSalle basketball program that really has been slowly turning the gears a little bit, going back to Sheldon Griffin was involved in the program at one point. Then current Colony coach Greg Davis was there. Then he left for the Colony job a couple years ago. And now under Orlando DeBacco, that boys program continues to really start putting itself on another level. How much does seeing what that boys team has done in just your 18, well, not 18, but almost 2 full years now at LaSalle, what is seeing their growth and their their ascent within their own classification? What has that done for motivating the girls and yourself as well?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's helped me too, but like with the other kids, they like sometimes they get down on themselves because, we play hard teams. So, but I'm just like, look at the boy, like they play the same teams, like they do it too. Like it's something to look up to almost. It's like having like a older sibling. It's just like they're more experienced. So it helps to look up to them.
And then watching them throw alley-oops.
Yeah. That's
alley-oops to each other. That's really fun one too.
Awesome. Yeah. We wish we could do that too, but
yeah. And then those games too, like in terms of, you go to the LaSalle boys game right now and you can't get in the door. Like that's what it's become.
Like
on that. So it's definitely fun. In terms of like any superstitions that you have, like before, like in terms of games, do you wear the same socks? Do you wear, I don't know, like, is there anything any superstitions that you do as an athlete?
Yeah. So my dad always wore like a rubber band on his wrist just for we never knew why. So I always put one in my sock just to cool. Remember of him. So that's just a little thing, but
So, question about the squad this year, because Cap brought up the fact that because of the rapid jump in enrollment, now LaSalle girls hoops is sitting in Class B. But the theme that I've been preaching for the last 2-3 months now is I just feel Class B is wicked wide open, and really the most wide open class out of the 6 classifications in girls basketball. And I think part of that breeds to the fact that you guys do have a difficult schedule in the Colonial Council. You're going to be playing programs, like a Chalmont, like an Albany Academy, like a Catholic Central. Was that the general feeling for you and coach and the team as well when you when you looked at the layout of things over the course of Class B before the season started, and what's the feeling right now in the locker room?
Yeah, so I mean, we have a stretch of hard games coming up, but we're just like taking it day at a time, and then we always look at like sectionals, like who will be playing in sectionals, like what could possibly turn out, how we could, prepare for that too, because some teams in Colonial Council we won't even end up seeing in sectionals. So we also keep like a lookout on teams in Class B too.
And they'll be the only team in Class B that'll play Catholic High twice, Holy Names twice, Albany Academy twice.
Yeah.
They'll have 6 games against teams that no one else they'll play in Class B will even touch in terms of level. Like we always tell our girls, like we try to, like the Shaker game in particular, like, great, we lost that game, but you're playing against competition that's maybe a little bit better than what you are, and sometimes maybe like you can win those games too, but it just helps you. Like it helps you for the end of the year, whatever the matter of those scores or games are. Like it's something that helps you because you gotta think about, like, no one else is playing the schedule you guys have.
Yeah, that's what I always try to tell them, and just be like, we have a hard schedule. Like it's gonna happen. Losses are gonna happen. So
yeah, your league schedule is most people's, like what they would want non-league. You guys are playing inside the league, so now
tough.
with yourself, like. I myself, I would think I've obviously followed you before this, but now I follow you more because hopefully you keep with me and we're together all spring unless Ryan turns you away. But in terms of like where you are, and you've had a few really good games this year offensively, but when you're starting to get on a roll and everything that you shoot, I know you watched the Niskuna game, everything you kind of threw up at the rim, it went in. When you're in those kind of games. And you're really being offensively, like you're just shooting everything. What is the feeling in those kind of games for you?
Yeah. Well, my confidence goes up then, but like games now like that, I'm not in my head, but I'm just like, I can't put anything in here. So like when I have games like that, I try to keep it going. Like if I don't have a shot, swing it like one more.
Sure.
Stuff
like Cap kind of alluded to it, so I'll take the lead on this one. AAU, you spent a lot of time with the Capitals program. Most recently, this past spring, you were coached by Catholic Central head coach Audra DeBacco. Now you're going to be moving over to Elevate this coming spring. All in all, your experience with the Capitals, how was that? And what are you looking to get out of this coming? Because this would be your last summer of AAU coming up. Is there anything specific you're looking to get out of your time with Elevate this coming spring?
Yeah. So for Capitals, I mean, I loved it there. I would stay, but it was just like all the traveling, all that, and I just want to stay close to home for college. Like I don't want to go more than 2 hours away if I can. So I want from Elevate just to like play local tournaments. Maybe have local colleges come watch. Just stay home. So
now, in terms of your goals and everything, you said college, but for this season, like did you set any goals like to start the season for yourself or for the team that you're trying to obtain, like whether it was a certain mark of wins or certain rebounds or certain points? Like did you guys have like kind of, or yourself personally, did you have any kind of goals that you set before the season started?
Yeah. So, I mean, last year we went 500. So, I mean, I want to reach that or go above it. So I never told anyone that, but I've always kept it like in my mind just to keep going.
And have you had a favorite team you've played so far?
I like playing Niskuna. They're a tough team. They're good. But even though we lost, it was a good game.
Yeah, this team is a very interesting squad. They have they have Natalie Birmingham, who just kind of floats along like a little ballerina doing the Nutcracker, and then you've got Sky, who's jumping all over the place. Yeah, and then Sierra Gonzalez is just like the Energizer Bunny and Tasmanian Devil into one. Like she's all over the place. So it's a very very interesting squad, and many teams. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah. I have to ask because Cap teased you about it before we got on the air. So, can you explain this relocated game to us from last month because I'm not sure if the whole story really got out to anyone about what happened, but
The mechanical.
kind of just walk us through like how you found out the news about the game being moved, and then how you eventually found out the cause of the game being moved.
Yeah, so I was actually sleeping, and then I woke up, got a text, and it was like, "Hey team, we're now at Mechanicville at 6:37," and I was like, I was like, why? What's wrong with being at home? I was like, I thought I was ready to be at home, like I wasn't trying to go to Mechanicville, and so there was like a pipe burst or something, but we didn't know how it happened for like a couple days. So we went to Mechanicville, and then we couldn't have practice that weekend because they were working on like the heat and stuff. And our whole team was so confused. We were like, there's no practices. The boys couldn't practice, like nothing. So then we found out on like that Monday that it was like a window was left open and it like froze one of the pipes, and then it ended up like bursting in one of like the guidance rooms, and they had to like redo all the floors, and then they had to fix the heat, and then they had to find out like what window was like cracked or open. It was just crazy. I was like, that shouldn't have been, like, it's weird.
And you said the current climate's not very warm at the school.
No, today at school it was freezing. It was so cold.
I'm not going to brag too much, but CBA's building is less than 30 years old, and LaSalle's is what? Probably like a century old, if I had to guess. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Just saying, I don't think that would ever happen at CBA from one window being open.
Listen, the boiler that's Albany Academy. They literally, if that thing goes, that thing's so old they got to redo all the heater. Like the boiler is, they have the boiler in the basement that looks like the scary movies when kids would go to the basement and there'd be a boiler. That's what that thing looks like. There'd be two guys shoveling coal. That's what it looks like.
Or is it kind of like the thing in Home Alone that scares me?
Yeah, the furnace that opens up, like it's So the boiler, that's all we hear about. Oh, well, the boiler's going to cost $100,000 to replace. Like, great.
Well, the other imagery I also got was the scene very early on in the movie Titanic when they're doing all the scene, the different visuals from inside the boat, and they go to the boilers down below on the bottom level, and all the guys. Yeah, that's
where Freddy Krueger lives. That's what Kate might not know who Freddy Krueger is, but Freddy Krueger lives in the boiler room.
Kate, was that above your head?
I mean, I've heard of them, but I don't know who it is.
Oh,
Nightmare on Elm Street. Go look it up.
We have a string of questions about that, and have like they have on TikTok where you play the song and they have to move to the left or the right, and if they know what the song is, we got to do that with like 2,000 movies.
Oh, Cap, you're
these kids are gotta get like we have Hoblock. We could ask about the Beatles, and then some kids wouldn't even know who.
All right, let's take this one step at a time. Kate, have you at least heard of the movie Titanic?
I have, yes.
Okay.
I've seen a little bit of it. I can't sit through movies.
Have you at least heard of Home Alone?
Yes, I've watched Home Alone.
Okay. Yeah. All right. She's 2 for 3. That's enough for me.
Have you seen Dumb and Dumber?
No.
Happy Gilmore?
Some of it.
Yeah.
Just listen. She was 2 out of 3 on the ones that we quoted, so it's okay. Good. But if you like old school horror movies from like, what was it, the early 80s Nightmare on Elm Street, or was that late 70s?
80s. Johnny Depp, like the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean, you know him?
I mean,
that run challenge that they had, Freddy Krueger kills him. That was like his first acting role. You'll have to watch it. Your mother will know. Just ask her. Just say, who's Freddy Krueger, and just don't tell her why.
Okay.
Oh, shit. Yeah. And if you do get pressured in explaining why, just blame Cap.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
That'll be the easiest way to blow it off.
Blame me. I take the blame for everything.
All right. So we end all interviews the same way. Sometimes in lengthier ways than others with this segment, but it's a segment called Life's Most Important Questions, but I swear they're not really life's most important questions. Like, I'm not going to ask you to solve equals MC squared, and I'm not going to ask you for the meaning of life. And I'm not going to ask you. Screw it. I already got halfway through the question. I'm not going to ask you if you believe in God or not. But I almost stopped myself, but then I was halfway through and I couldn't stop, so I had to say that.
Yep.
What? Cap? What?
Come on.
What?
She got a game against Troy tomorrow, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
You believe in God, clearly. Anyways, wow. This took a left-hand turn. Anyways, literally just give me the first answer that pops in your head. Some might be deeper thinking questions, but they're not like, again, they're not like,
okay.
It's not like pre-calc, all right?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. First off, team iPhone or team Android? And I think I already know the answer to this question.
iPhone.
Okay. Does the green bubble ever bother you?
No.
Did you
No.
know?
You okay with it? You've gotten over it?
Yeah, I wasn't really like, I don't really care to begin with. Like people did, and I was like, I don't understand why, but
what weirds me out more now is that with the newer updates on iPhone, it'll actually tell you as you're about to type a message to someone if it's going through as an iMessage or a text.
Yeah.
That kind of freaks me out. That's a little big brothery for me, but whatever. And Cap's just shaking his head like, Brian, just shut up and ask the next
iPhone. iPhones are, I don't have iPhones. I'm not, everyone else has them. I don't want one.
Well, that's on you, Cap. It's okay. We're not going to blame you. When it comes to maintaining your electrolytes, are you team Gatorade, team Powerade? Do you prefer a different kind of energy drink? What's up with that?
I like Gatorade. I've always loved Gatorade. So,
is there a specific color?
Yellow or red.
Yellow.
Yeah.
Or red.
Wow.
Red. Yeah, they're tied for first.
Yellow might be a first for us on
Really?
Lemon lime, and if they didn't have the Jordan one anymore, they came out with that for a little while. But lemon lime and fruit punch for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Oh, that's the other end of it. Do you go by color or flavor? Because that was a question a little bit too.
The color.
Or are they all color?
Okay. Yeah.
Too much to say. If it's like, I like this.
I like a glacier freeze Gatorade.
Yeah.
Please. Like even at Dunkin' Donuts now they sell Gatorades and they don't even bother saying the flavors. Like, you want white or blue? I'm like,
yeah, white's wild. You don't like white, right?
It's if it's there, I'll drink it. But like
cherry, like white cherry, like it's just my brain can't wrap around that it's going to be cherry.
Yeah, the name's weird.
Glacier cherry, first of all, be more specific. Second of all, I despise the dark blue Gatorade, so because that's the other option, I default to the white at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm like,
dark blue is rough. It's rough.
The color just is off-putting to begin with to me, and then the taste is like,
Yeah.
But I'm team red, by the way, just for reference. Red. I think it'll go red, orange, and then whatever after that. Oh no, Arctic Blast. That's a good one.
Oh.
What are these names? Like, where do these names come
Arctic
from?
Blast is it's like the light purple one.
Someone got paid a ton of money. No purple, no whites.
What's wrong with the? Never mind. We're gonna have a throwdown.
Colors only, I guess.
When Kate gets off the show, Cap and I are gonna have a throwdown. I think this is just not. This is not happening right now. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Sandwich.
You think a hot dog is a sandwich?
Oh, do I? No. I thought you said hot dog or sandwich.
Okay. Well, that too. So you prefer what is there a preferred like if you were to walk into any kind of chain sub shop, because I don't want to give free plugs to anyone.
Deli and Brew. Welcome to Deli and Brew. What do you order?
Oh, there you go. That's a mom and pop sub shop. If you go into it like a Deli and Brew, what are you getting?
Probably turkey, cheese, lettuce, mayo. I know, but
there's something about cold cut turkey I can't do. I just can't do it.
I'm more and more alike as she's speaking, so she better get off quick.
Wait, what?
That's all I would order too. Turkey. I get I get a red Gatorade. Probably get some.
Cap.
I don't know what kind of shit. Doritos, like, is it nacho cheese Doritos, or are you going with Cool Ranch Doritos?
I go with Cool Ranch.
Perfect. Me too. Brian, you can leave.
That's on the show. That's ridiculous.
Over.
It's ridiculous.
Gilooly, we can start our new podcast, and you can.
I'm sitting with 2 carbon copies of my wife. No, God. Oh, no. She's Cool Ranch. I'm nacho cheese. She, like, I can't even describe her sub construction. It's so off the wall. I can't. I can't right now with you two. I don't even know where I was going with that. The aux cord. Number 1, who's in charge of the playlist for your team? Number 2, who would you never put in charge of said playlist?
I'm in charge of music and practice, and probably our starting point guard, Maura Gillespie.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. During the off season, which is limited for you because you play AAU in the spring and then soccer starts a month and a half after AAU, but whatever. You just stand there for soccer. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's better than going. Never mind.
Yeah.
Favorite cheat meal?
You said favorite cheat meal?
Yeah.
I don't
Or
know.
guilty pleasure, whatever you want to label it as.
I guess anything at Chick-fil-A, I guess, if I had to pick.
It's not often we get Chick-fil-A mentioned here. Okay.
It's not too far away anymore for her, so.
No.
Oh, right. It's literally right down 4. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
How psychotic was that when it first opened?
Oh my God. It was terrible. It was awful. There was like traffic for like probably a mile down the road.
Who's got the best pizza in Troy?
Oh gosh.
That's a lot of Troy to cover.
Yeah. I don't know.
Red Front? No Red Front?
Oh yeah. Yeah, probably Red Front.
Where was Purple Pub? Was that considered Waterville Elite or was that Troy Tech?
Waterville Elite. But you have the other place too, what's the place that Port and I went to and gave it like a 9-1.
Oh, I don't remember. DeFazio's?
Fazio's, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I've never been to yet. So
I've never been either.
Yeah, there's a lot of ground to cover in Troy because you got RPI in Hoosick Street area. You've got South Troy, like down near the Boys and Girls Club and all that. And then you've got what's labeled Troy, but I wouldn't call Troy, like along 4.
Yeah.
That's a lot of real estate to cover.
A lot of pizza to eat.
Yep.
I'm all for it though.
And I'm not. Yeah, that was self-deprecating. I don't care. There's your $5 word of the day, Kate. Self-deprecating. Keep that in your vocabulary.
Okay. I will.
I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. 2 more questions before I lose Cap on this because I think he's probably rolling his eyes by now. First off, this is a new one, freshly created for this episode, and I think Cap's going to like this question.
Perfect.
If you could steal a skill and make it yours from another player, either a teammate or somebody you played against a lot in AAU or whatever, whose skill would it be and why?
That's hard. Probably, if I had to, probably Alex Leonard's fadeaway. She has a good fadeaway game. So.
App, any comment on that?
No, she does. She has a nice fadeaway.
So.
Okay. I just thought I'd get the input of her school coach. That's all. And AAU. I totally forgot that for a second.
Good.
Too many people.
Final question. If you were on a deserted island.
Oh gosh.
It's not gonna be that hard of a question. You're allowed to pick 2 people to help you get off that island and get back to civilization. Who are you picking?
And you have to know.
They have to be people you know. Don't pick like George Washington. Like actual people you
know. Oh gosh. Probably, I guess my mom, just for support, I guess. She probably wouldn't help me, but just
I was going to ask, what kind of skills does she bring to the table?
No, she probably wouldn't help me at all. But she'd probably leave me there.
But by default, you're picking mom. Okay.
Yeah, just for her to be there. I don't know. Probably.
Do you know anybody good with their hands?
Or a school that has like survivor school, like any
ex-military.
Oh, probably one of my leadership teacher. He was in the Army for like so long. I don't know how long, but
I knew if I said ex-military, it would come right back to school. There we go.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. Cap, any questions, comments, concerns before we let poor Kate go?
No. Like she said, they have, looking at their schedule, even just what they've had, their schedule may be better than ours to this point right now in terms of teams they've played. Niskayuna, they've played Voorheesville, Mechanicville, Guilderland. Now they got Troy, Catholic High, Holy Names, and us the next 4 games. So, and then they got Emma Willard, Hoosick Falls in their back, Chalmont, Mechanicville again, Catholic High, Holy Names, Cat. Like, so I just stay the course. Whatever you guys could be, you like you want to be over 500. You could be just over 500, still be one of the teams in Class B. So
yeah. I was just talking about that today, actually. How we were like, if we would go off the realistic, like we could be just over 500.
Right. You've played the number 3 team that's ranked in Class B in the state is Mechanicville.
Yeah.
So that was a 9-point game.
Yeah. We were up too.
Yep.
It's because the pipe burst.
Pipe that Brian probably broke the window. Probably his CBA. He probably found out. He's like, oh, this window.
Yeah, I drove 45 minutes from Amsterdam to Detroit just to open a window. Yeah, exactly what I did. But yeah, just to back up what Cap was saying just now, it's gonna be one of those things. It's actually, you referenced this earlier, Kate. I'm interested in seeing how the seating comes out because, let's just say there's a few people that don't like looking beyond just the record. They don't like looking at the body of work behind the record. Just watch any NCAA tournament selection show and you'll see the same thing. So yeah, that's what's going to intrigue me, is to see where you're slotted. Because if you're put where I believe you deserve to be slotted, regardless of what happens going forward, I'll be seeing you in Hudson Valley. That's my prediction.
That's where literally they could be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I'm just saying it. You avoid the top line, I think you're in good hands getting to Hudson Valley. I'm gonna put it that way.
Yeah.
That all being said, Kate Gilooly, junior standout for the cadets of the LaSalle Institute. Kate, I appreciate you coming on despite Cap being my co-host. And yeah.
Look, there's the dog. See him right there? He's right there over my shoulder. He's looking out everywhere.
Wait, who's looking? What's going on?
He got let out, so now he's going nuts.
Oh.
So Mike Wazowski is right there. That's his name. You know who Mike Wazowski is, Kate?
Yeah, I do know. I do know.
Well, that's him. The dog version of him.
Hey, we wasted enough of your time. I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks.
Kate Gilooly, LaSalle Institute. She might never come back on the show now after that.
Your fault if she doesn't come back, not mine.
Hey, listen, man. Okay, yeah. Well, how about we take 50-50 split?
60. You take 60, I'll take 40.
Fine. You're a hard negotiator. Fine. I'll take 60, take 40. There. Happy?
Happy.
There was something I did want to bring up. A couple things, actually. One, did you see Janae Brantley drop 25 in her CAA debut?
Did.
Let's go. Now, granted, it was against Northeastern, so it's, but Taylor Holohan wasn't playing because she's hurt. So it's like kind of mixed feelings there. Yeah, if you didn't get to hear what happened with Taylor, go check out our fast break interview from a few weeks ago at Siena College on the YouTube channel. Yeah, basically when you're how should I put this? When you're rebounding like this instead of straight up, it messes up your back. I'll just leave it at that. It's nothing bad, no surgery, but it's enough where she's redshirting the rest of the year, and that's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Your schedule coming up. I think I have. Well, I know tomorrow you've got, as I mentioned, we're recording Monday, January 6th. So tomorrow you have Mohan at home, and then Sunday.
You have nothing for a little bit because we have that weird break now because of moving our Friday game to this past Sunday. So we have.
Oh, right. So you got like 10 days off, right?
Yeah. So we have 7, and then we play Catholic Central at Catholic Central, our first game against them this year. And then we go, and then LaSalle comes to us. So then we go out to Utica again to play Aquinas and either Shenango Forks or Utica Notre Dame. So
I swear, the more stuff I save on my phone, the more difficult it becomes finding your schedule on here. Okay, here we go.
because you have an iPhone.
Yeah, Mohan Catholic Central. Without getting into too much detail, and I hate asking this question, give me as neutral an answer as possible without getting into any kind of coach speak or scouting. What are your thoughts on Catholic Central so far this year?
To be honest with you, they've had a really weird schedule too, where I haven't seen too much of them locally so far. Like obviously to start the season off, you saw them playing Colony and then playing Shaker, but
they've been bouncing between here and Long Island. It seems like.
Yeah. So they have it feels like they played Troy, they played Voorheesville and Ichabod, and then they then they went away. So I haven't really seen too much of them. I'm hoping to get over there Friday to watch the LaSalle game.
Yeah, I think they went down to the city at some point early in December, and then they went back down there during Christmas break. It was the scheduling was, I wouldn't call it weird per se, because you got to fill your non-league somehow. I mean, just look at Colony. They played. One of their games was the team that was at the tip-off tournament. I'm blanking from out west. It'll come to me after the show, I'm sure. They played Albertus Magnus down at Bard College before they played at Amsterdam on Christmas week. And then during the Amsterdam tournament, they played 2 non-Section 2 teams. They played the team from Canada, and they played I don't think it was Baldwin's. Was it Holy Redeemer maybe? I don't remember. But they played 2 non-Section 2 teams, so it was very they played a very intriguing, unique schedule. Catholic High, Albany High's done the same thing too.
Right.
They played Binghamton. They played University Academy last weekend. They've had another 1 or 2 schools come into Albany and play them. Some of these non-league schedules have been very random, but also very cool in a way, because it's different. It's a different point of view with different players facing them.
Yep. It's hard to tell because they haven't played, the Section 2 games have been the first 2 games of the year, and then 3 games in a row, and then somewhere else. So I haven't been able to see them as much as you'd think that you would at this point, just locally. So, but we'll see them this week. They play tomorrow, then they play LaSalle Friday. So,
yeah. All right. Well, that does it for part 1 of episode 39 of 84 Feet with Cady and Cap. Don't forget, follow the Spotify channel. Leave a comment on the episodes. I think there's a notification bell there is for new episodes. Same for YouTube. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment on the videos. Y'all know the drill. Whatever. We're on Twitter, because I refuse to call it X, at 84 Feet Podcast. Hell, I'll give you my Insta, because that's how I share it on Instagram, at Brian Cady. It's real easy. BRIANCADY. Real easy. Couldn't be.
Spells Brian the wrong way. It's easy to remember.
What?
You spelled.
Oh, shut up. All right, that you figure out how you can go back and change your name to the right way, okay? All right, whatever. Goodbye. That's the end.
Bye.